Coming to you live from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, FATV proudly presents its coverage of the semifinal round of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bolak. And Dan, we are ready for our second semifinal game of the day, one that sees the Blue Knights of Lunenburg Ayer Shirley, the host team of the Bushnoe Tournament, take on the Blue Devils of Leominster.
Yep, for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley, off to a 3-1 start, 1-0 in the Midwatch C. They've got themselves wins over Assabet, Lowell, and Oakmont, while losing to Worcester on Monday the 15th in the final of the Cobblestone Tournament up in Lowell. But nevertheless, LAS, pretty solid core of 18 upperclassmen on this roster. Or that's not right. I typoed somewhere on my roster, but nevertheless.
They have a number of seniors and juniors. Yes,
because I think the numbers I came up with I don't think add up. Or maybe they do add up. They actually do add up. Well,
so you were right.
Yeah. It's, I think, as the one 8th grader, and that kept running in my head, is 8. It's like
they don't have 8 1st graders. They have 1 8th grader.
They do.
That makes more sense.
Yep. Yeah, so now that I do the math, 8 seniors, 10 juniors, 6 sophomores, a freshman, and an 8th grader. No, that does add up. So
that's right.
Maybe we'll edit that part out, maybe we won't, I don't know. Anyway, so Lunenburg Ayer Shirley's had a veteran core over the last few years, and that continues to grow and continues to play tremendously well. Players like Owen Hurley, a junior, with 8 points on the campaign. Dylan Sprague's got himself 6 points on the season as well. Sam Brand, also a junior, with 6 points. It's this class of 2027 that's been very strong for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Had to change things up in goal. Tyler Sear didn't come back out, so Jacob Carge is taking over the starting job for the Blue Knights in goal. He's just a sophomore, played a couple games last year, coincidentally enough, both against Leominster last season, but now he's the main man in goal for the Blue Knights.
Carge has acquitted himself very well on the young campaign, under 2 goals against per game, .927 save percentage. He's stopped all but 7 of the 96 shots that have come his way. We look at the other side for Leominster, and it's a very different roster and a very different look for the Blue Devils. They begin their campaign 0-2 in the Midwatch C.
Yep, started with an 8-1 loss to Oakmont, and then most recently on Monday taking on the Neshoba Tech co-op. That's a co-op of Neshoba Tech, Greater Lowell, and Greater Lawrence. Lost that one 7-1. Jacob Nicholson got credit for the only goal for the Blue Devils in that contest. Jario Morales had the lone goal in the previous game against Oakmont. And one of the stories for them is, we talked about this a little bit previously, is that Monty Tech Fitchburg graduated all 3 of their goaltenders last year and ultimately have 2 freshmen on the roster this season. Gardner graduated both their goalies last year. They've got nothing but freshmen in goal this season. Leominster only had 1 goalie last year, Logan Wood. He also graduated. Liam Brigham has stepped up to take the goaltending role for the Blue Devils. But the thing with Brigham is ice hockey is not his first sport.
It is not his first sport. It is not his second sport. Up until 3 weeks ago, it was not a sport he had ever played. According to Leominster's head coach, John Mooney, he had not skated until 2 or 3 weeks ago. Blue Devils needed a goalie. They put out some feelers. They put out some, oh God, please help us's. And eventually, Liam Brigham, baseball player for the Blue Devils, stepped up, and he stepped between the pipes.
I know he's played a little bit of ball hockey. I know he's got that much experience, but skating-wise, doesn't have as much experience there. But obviously, he knows he's going to be the person being relied on for a little while in goal for Leominster, for as many players as they've got. And, it's interesting, 6 years ago, Leominster's girls team had a similar issue. They didn't have a goalie, and so they got Jenna Morse, a field hockey goalie, to convert and play, and she had to go through the same ordeals, basically. Learn how to skate, learn how to play the position and all of that. At least she had the field hockey experience to lean back on. And also, Leominster's girls team is a co-op of like 9 schools. They could pull from many different schools, and Jenna Morse was a Lunenburg student. Go figure. But for Leominster, they're big enough they don't have the luxury to co-op. They have to do it all on their own. And so it's only people who go to Leominster High School who can play in goal. And so ultimately, if no one on the ice hockey team is trained enough, if there's nobody in the school that's got that ability to play ice hockey, then it's coming to the point where you've got to teach someone. And Liam Brigham has stepped up and really deserves all the respect for being able to stand in and take on this role.
We'll keep an eye on him throughout the night, but for now we'll send it down to our public address announcer, Jim LaPointe, for the introduction of the starting lineups and the playing of our national anthem. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV.
Please help our students by showing respect to all participants and spectators at tonight's contest and cheering only in a positive manner. And now the starting lineups for the Devils. At right wing, number 14, Isaac Rosado. At center, number 15, Jacob Malloy. Left wing, number 16, Jacob Nicholson. Defense, number 27, James Connors. Defense, number 9, Max Crossman. And in goal for the Devils, number 31, Liam Brigham. The head coach for Leominster is Frank Mooney. And now for the Knights. At right wing, number 4, Dylan Sprague. At center, number 5, Owen Hurley. At left wing, number 11, Sam Brand. Defense, number 20, Colin Holbrook. Defense, number 7, Connor Lammy. And in goal for the Knights, number 1, Jacob Karge. The head coach for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley is Eric Short. Officials for tonight's game, Jay Murphy and Kevin McKinstry. Ladies and gentlemen, students, at this time I'd ask you all to please stand as we honor our nation and the flag with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner.
Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. John Gugerty joined by Dan Bullock as we get ready once again for the second semifinal here in the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament, a tournament that began back in the year 2005 and has been held for 20 years now, hosted by the Blue Knights of Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Of course, Mark Bushnoe, former assistant coach for the Blue Knights, passed away in 2000 at just the age of 39. Blue Knights and Lunenburg Ayer Shirley have been hosting the Bushnoe tournament in his honor for 20 years now. One of our favorite events, an event that we're always proud to cover here on FATV. Dan.
Indeed, it's a wonderful way to keep his name fresh and to talk about his story and to honor all the contributions he gave to the program for a man gone far too soon.
We've already seen the Hawks of Hudson, the defending Bushnoe champions, advance to the finals. They defeated the Bonney-Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs in our first contest, and our second semifinal is underway. Face-off won by the Blue Knights, controlled in their end. Connor Lammy sends it across the ice for Owen Hurley. Hurley gains the red line, advances to Sam Brand. Brand gets it back to Hurley, now back to Brand. His centering pass is deflected. Comes back out to the blue line, kept in by Colin Holbrook. Head to Hurley in the corner. He lost the handle. Chased down for the Blue Devils by James Connors. Loose puck in the crease, comes out, and is cleared out by Jacob Nicholson. Bangs it off the near side boards, goes all the way down, and we get icing 41 seconds into this game. A little bit of blue on blue. We've got the Blue Knights and the Blue Devils. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley in the white jerseys with blue numbers and accents. Leominster in the mostly blue with some black. Their numbers are in white. You know, blue is my favorite color, Dan, and still, this is a lot of blue on the ice right now.
Oh, plenty of blue. Each team's got their accent colors. You know, Lunenburg Ayer Shirley's got some maroon representing the Ayer Shirley side, the Panthers.
You see that in the inside of the sleeves on the Blue Knight jerseys. There's another icing down in the LAS end. We get a face-off in the Leominster zone.
The Leominster's got those black accents. I'll tell you, these jerseys, though, still look better than the jerseys their basketball teams have taken to wearing on the road. Black jerseys with blue numbers.
That sounds real bad. Basketball's already a very hard sport to call. Black jerseys with blue numbers sounds real bad.
Did a game last year between Leominster's girls team and Neshoba's girls team in basketball, where Neshoba's home jerseys are gold on white.
That also sounds bad.
I was sitting in the second row. I couldn't make out numbers on the far side of the court. Just forget it.
Chance in the offensive zone for the Blue Knights. Centering pass takes the deflection, goes behind the net. Did not trouble Liam Brigham. Now comes back out to Heffernan. His shot takes a deflection, goes wide. Another shot by Sean McGrath goes wide. And the Blue Devils are able to clear the zone. Sent right back in by Heffernan. Back behind the Blue Knight net. Or the Blue Devil net, rather, gathered by Jacob Turner. He sends it for Jariel Morales. Gets it ahead to Lucas Renda. Renda will go 1-on-2, take a shot. Goes deflected, goes back behind the net. Dylan Gibbons gives chase. Gibbons wanted to go along the near side board, thought better of it, reverses direction. Now goes back behind the net. Pushed to the far side, tried to clear it out. Caleb Fairby there with the interception, takes a shot, save made. Puck comes to the near side corner. Two Knights and two Devils battling for it. Comes to Xavier Perez. Perez centering pass and a shot, save made. Jacob Karge goes tumbling after it. He's able to cover up.
Leominster able to get some opportunities early on in the going, get a couple shots on Jacob Karge. Karge making his fifth appearance, as we mentioned, 3-1, 175 goals against, 927 save percentage. He's faced just 96 shots in about 4 games of action. On the other side, Liam Brigham's faced about well over 80 shots, I think, at this point. Something to that effect in just 2 games.
He might face another one right here. A chance for the Blue Knights. Skating in on goal. Shot save made by Brigham. He's able to steer that one wide. Sent back out to the blue line, but unable to keep it in. We're the Blue Knights. They will have to regather. They do so, regain the zone. Skated in by Hurley. He leaves it for Brand. Brand's shot goes wide. Now at the far face-off circle, comes back out to the blue line. Centering pass wound up going in on Brigham. He got a blocker down and steered it away. Back to Hurley, swing and a miss. And the Blue Devils come the other way. Dumping it into the zone is Jacob Malloy. Pursued there by Holbrook. He gets it back out to Brand. Brand clears the zone, looking for Hurley. Too long for him, however, it's gathered by James Connors. Connors and Hurley get tied up as Connors sends the puck into the zone. Back along the near side now for Brand. Brand will go cross ice. Poked in behind the net for Dylan Sprague. Sprague steers it along. Skates through a couple Blue Devils. Comes back out to the blue line for Hakey. Hakey skates up to the face-off circle. Shot, score! Colin Hakey from the top of the circle went top right corner just over the glove of Liam Brigham, and he gives Lunenburg Ayer Shirley a 1-0 lead.
Second goal of the season for the defenseman, the sophomore Colin Hakey. Just able to wire that on target. Brigham just didn't track it well enough, didn't get the glove up high enough. Maybe thought it might have been going above the crossbar, but ultimately snuck in under the post. And 1-0 to the Blue Knights.
Just over the glove, just under the post, just in the back of the net. Now another shot, this one off the stick of McGrath. Brigham's able to handle that. So Dan, when you're learning the position for the first time, you give up a goal. I think it's good for Brigham to get that opportunity right away, to get his head right back in. As you said in our first game, the most important save is the next one you have to make.
Knight's goal was scored by number 10,
Face-off
Colin
controlled by the
Hickey.
Blue Devils. Unable to clear the zone, however, pass is intercepted. McGrath sends it back in. Dumps a shot in on Brigham. He'll cover up.
3:42, first period.
We'll get another face-off in the Blue Devil zone.
I think it was Hurley and McGrath getting the assists on that goal.
Face-off will come to the left of Liam Brigham, here on the near side. One of the referees going over, have a brief word with Eric Short in his 27th season as the head coach of the Blue Knights. Shot from the blue line, steered away by Brigham. Blue Devils are able to clear the zone. Comes to the near side for Heffernan. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley unable to clear their zone. Andrew Nicosia gets it back to Heffernan. He'll finally get it ahead. Gaining the blue line is Ethan Dion. It's a Blue Devil who's lost his stick. Puck goes right between the legs of Lucas Renda. He was unable to play it. Now back to the near side boards. Skating up is Lammy. Excuse me, that's McGrath. He takes a shot. And Brigham hangs on. When you're facing an inexperienced goaltender, the strategy for LAS, at least early on, seems to be pepper Brigham with shots early and often. We saw them get a goal on the shot by Colin Hickey. It was not the most complex scoring opportunity.
Basically, you don't have to do anything fancy. Just take shots. Just go for volume on this one. But you never really know what opportunity is going to be the one that gets past Brigham.
Johnny McGrath had a great chance at a one-timer that Brigham was able to steer away. Thought the Blue Knights might have been offside, but the referees say no, so they come up to play the puck. Now Leominster's able to clear the zone. They'll go all the way into the Lunenburg Ayer Shirley, and Dylan Gibbons gives chase for the Knights. Gibbons menaced by Farabee. 6 players circling around the puck right now. Vaguely reminiscent of a youth soccer game. Back along the near side, Jason Turner gains the zone. Skates past a diving Connors, now takes it back behind the Blue Devil net. Looks to the blue line for Gibbons. His shot takes a deflection and is steered away. The deflection came off the stick of Adam Kimball. Brigham was able to follow that. Knocked it away, I believe, with his right leg. Now back behind the Blue Devil net. Skating it out of the zone is Connors. He'll go 1-on-3 and eventually lose that, as usually happens when you go 1-on-3. Out to center ice. Dario Morales will spin around, sends a shot in on net. Karch has to play that one away. Just under 8:40 to play here, first period. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley leads 1-0 as they gain the zone. Dylan Sprague takes a shot. Save made by Brigham, and it goes back behind him. Kept in at the blue line, sent all the way back behind the Blue Devil net. Sam Brand comes around to gather for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Back to Sprague. He wanted to leave it for Brand, but Brand was too far forward. Now it finds Sprague again. Centering pass, takes a deflection off of Blue Knight. And then in. Just like that, another goal for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. I saw the puck and I heard the whistle, couldn't tell that it was in the back of the net.
Just went it out really quickly, and Brigham didn't even have time to get over and get down.
It was Jack Heffernan who led the handshake line. I thought maybe it went in for Lammy, but we'll wait for the official score. Regardless, it is 2-0 now. Another goal scored by Lunenburg Ayer Shirley here in the first half of the first period. Blue Knights right back to work as they control it center ice. Sprague gains the zone, sends it back in to the near corner. Gathered by the Blue Devils. Battled for just outside the face-off circle. Now Hurley gathers, centers. He was looking for Brandt, but Brandt couldn't handle it. Back out to the blue line for William Marshall. He tried to pass, it was poked away by Nicholson. Back out to the blue line. Marshall sends it in again. Centering pass for Sprague is intercepted. Another attempt to find Sprague. Good defensive work by Max Crosman. Now a 2-on-1 for the Blue Devils if they hurry, but Isaac Rosado can't handle it.
Number 5, Owen Hurley. Assist number 4, Dylan Sprague. And number 11, Sam Brand.
Owen Hurley credited with the goal for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley, with assists to Sprague and Brand. For Hurley, it's his 5th goal of the season.
Yeah, that's what I had on that one too. It's the agency font isn't a great font for jerseys. There's another goal for Owen Hurley.
That one pretty clear. You see the big number 5 just skates into the slot, takes a shot from right between the face-off circles, and he gets it past Liam Brigham. I will say, as a person who used agency as a font for his logo on a for-profit website, which we won't mention, yeah, it's not great for numbers. It really isn't.
Third goal, the second goal of the game, scored by number 5, Owen Hurley.
Heffernan sends it out to center ice.
Assist number 7, Connor Lammy, 10 goal, 7:59.
Connor Lammy with the assist on Hurley's second goal, as a shot from the face-off circle deflects off the iron and into the netting. The Blue Nightstand have just completely controlled the flow of play here in the first 10 minutes of this game.
It's one of those things, with all the experience that they're bringing back for Leominster. They've got some solid players, but probably a little down on experience on their end.
Centering pass and an opportunity and another goal. Dylan Sprague finds the net this time on a pass from Andrew Nicosia. It is 4-0 in favor of Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Brody Knox and Davin Helm skate to center ice to take the face-off. Blue Knights are just pouring shots in, and they are finding the back of the net. Now a chance for Leominster at the other end. Shot from Davin Helm is deflected, goes behind the net.
Assist number 9, Andrew Nicosia. Time of that goal, 8:29.
Ethan Dion ended up getting the goal. It's his 3rd of the season.
Battle for it in the far corner. Caleb Farabee emerges the winner. Farabee sends it forward to Jacob Turner. Turner takes a shot save made by Karj. Turner goes hard into the boards and is slow getting up in the near corner. Top of the face-off circle, players battle for it. And another shot by Turner. Another save by Karj. Dan, when he was a lad, he ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help him get large. Now that he's a little bit more grown, he eats 5 dozen eggs. So he's roughly the size of a Karj. Face-off comes to the right side of Karj. Squirts out past the blue line, unable to be kept in by Crosman. He turns around, sends it back into the zone. William Marshall gives chase for LAS. Pokes it back around. Comes to Connors. He sends it cross ice for Crossman. It's rather appropriate that a cross ice pass finds Crossman. Now gathered by Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Adam Kimball will turn around, take a shot that goes wide of the net. Bounced back forward almost to the stick of Johnny McGrath, but he was unable to handle. Kept in at the blue line by Marshall. He'll send it back behind the net. Connors gives chase for the Blue Devils. 5 minutes to play here. First period. 4 goals already scored by the Blue Knights of Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Connors back behind the Leominster net again for Jacob Nicholson. Nicholson unable to handle. Skating into the slot is McGrath. He leaves it back behind him for Turner. Now to the blue line for Holbrook. Holbrook turn around. His shot goes off the back of McGrath. He doesn't know where it is. Holbrook will try again. Sends it forward. Another shot. This one's actually a fake by Turner. He spins around, holds it, lost his footing momentarily, sends it back behind the net for McGrath. McGrath gives chase in the near corner. Up into the air into the stick of Marshall. 15-on-15 violence as Jacob Malloy dispossesses him. And the Blue Devils are able to clear the zone. Chance for them, in fact, going the other way. Malloy now. Centering pass, well defensed by LAS. Good work on the opposite end by Colin Holbrook. Now Holbrook will go 1-on-2, have it poked away from him, but he regathers. A couple of Blue Devils come in on him, and it's poked away. Now loose in center ice, fought for right in front of us here at the press area. Back into the Leominster zone. Centering pass off the stick of Brand. Sam Brand back behind the Blue Devil net. Sends it out to Holbrook at the blue line. Holbrook sends one in just off the post. Don't know if that was a pass or a shot, but it was nearly both. And we actually get a whistle as the Blue Devils touch up.
Interference is a penalty called here.
See the Blue Devils, Jacob Malloy, exhausted and frustrated as he heads to the bench. It's Isaac Rosado going to the penalty box. He'll serve 2 minutes as the penalty kill unit comes on for Leominster. To the blue line for Heffernan. He sent it back to Hurley, who was trying to get it back to Heffernan, didn't have enough oomph on it. Blue Devils are able to clear the zone.
2-minute minor for roughing, interference. Time of that penalty was 11:22, first period.
There you hear the call from Jim LaPointe. Isaac Rosado will serve 2 minutes for interference. 2 minutes at maximum, it should be noted. Shot from the face-off circle, save made by Brigham. Rebound steered away, and another shot, this one's in. Make it 5 for the Blue Knights in the first period. Colin Hakey with his second score. It's a quintet of goals for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley.
Just peppering the shots on there, and eventually they'll break through. 5 goals in 12 minutes for the Blue Knights.
5 goals in 12 minutes, 5 goals on 12 shots. It's been a very rough first period for the Blue Devils. Cleared out of the zone by them.
Knight's 5th goal, his 2nd goal of the game.
Skated forward by Jariel Morales. He loses the handle, regathered by the Blue Knights.
Number 11, Sam Brand.
Sent back into the Leominster zone. Jacob Turner has it. He's able to clear it out, sent right back in by Ethan Dion. Blue Knights tagged up successfully, so they can now pursue. And pursue they do. Back behind the Leominster net. Centering pass, shot, save made by Brigham, unable to handle the rebound. That shot by Nicosia. Puck winds up going to the far side boards, gathered by Caleb Farabee. Farabee unable to clear the zone, however, comes back to Nicosia at the near side. Nicosia from the face-off circle, now to the slot, shot, save made by Brigham. Kick save and a beauty on that one as we go under the 2-minute mark here in the first period. Another shot from distance goes wide, winds up finding Dylan Gibbons. His centering pass goes to no one in particular. Is poked along but kept in on the far side. Sent into the corner, Jacob Turner gathers, just dumps it out of there. No icing as it deflected off a Lunenburg Ayer Shirley stick rather. 90 seconds to play here, first period. Leominster will change lines. As the puck is battled for in the near corner in the LAS zone. Blue Knights are able to clear. They've got a 2-on-2. Skating up the near side, but good defensive work by Tyler Woods as he's able to poke that away from Evan Gibbons. Back to center ice now into the LAS zone. The Blue Knights will gather and send it right back out. Into the offensive end goes Brody Knox. Knox from the face-off circle, shot, score! Brody Knox, the junior, notches his first of the year.
1 minute.
Makes it 6-0.
First period.
As we hit the 1 minute mark here in the first period.
The junior from Ayer Shirley just wiring a shot on. And it's just another goal there. It's hard to really provide a lot of, substantive analysis. I believe first career goal there for the junior. They'll save the puck for him.
It will indeed pull that piece of vulcanized rubber out of play, replace it with another one. Face-off won by the Blue Knights. Already 6 scores on the board for them in this first period. Puck comes into the Lunenburg Ayer Shirley zone.
Tonight's sixth goal scored by the 24, Brody Knox. Assist number 23, Evan Gibbons. Time of that goal, 14 minutes, first period.
Evan Gibbons credited with the assist. That would be his first of the season. He does have a goal, does Mr. Gibbons. Battled for on the near side, sent in. Brigham was trying to cover that up, it looked like with his skate blade. Just an awkward play. He had tried to stick it away. It wasn't really going anywhere. Finally able to cover up.
Matter of just not quite sure what to do in that particular circumstance. He was able to get down there, make the stop, puck then hit the post and sort of just died there. He was trying to get a whistle. I guess he wasn't quite sure exactly how he should try to get that whistle. Maybe covering it with his pads, maybe hoping that the pad overlapping with the side of the net would be enough to obscure it enough to get the whistle, or if he needed to cover it with the glove. It can be awkward a little sometimes. Remember, learning experiences for everybody.
It is early in the season for everyone and early in the hockey career for the sophomore goaltender Liam Brigham, who, as of a month ago, certainly wouldn't have thought himself a hockey player, but here he is. And here we are at the end of the first period. Players collide right at the end there. Saw one of the Blue Knights thinking it might have been a penalty. Jack Heffernan took a tumble. And I don't think anything will be called. We will go to the locker rooms with the score Lunenburg Ayer Shirley 6 and Leominster 0. And we mentioned at the end of our first game, the one between Monty Tech Fitchburg and Hudson, that they were two teams that were just at different places. And I think that is very evidently the case here in our second semifinal game as well.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. You know, we talked about the veteran core that Lunenburg Ayer Shirley has with 18 upperclassmen. Leominster's got themselves 9 seniors as well, but they definitely have been, you know, they've been a step behind in years past. Last year, 3 wins, and then the 3 seasons before that, 1 win each. So this is a team that has had a little bit of trouble really building something over time. And of course, the challenge is, you know, getting kids, at Leominster, there just isn't as many kids coming out to play ice hockey despite the large size of the school. I mean, we know we've seen that with Fitchburg High, where on the other side of the rivalry, Fitchburg High doesn't even have enough kids to ice a line.
No, they're just a handful of Fitchburg players on the Monty Tech Fitchburg side. Leominster facing similar troubles. They're a team that is looking to keep their heads above water, and they're having a fair bit of trouble doing so. I think it would be fair to say.
In a way, it's like they've got too many players to consider a co-op, but they don't have enough but it almost feels like they don't have enough of the depth otherwise. So they're in that kind of murky middle there in that regard. There's some talent on this Blue Devil side, but you could see a team like LAS with its core is just overwhelming Leominster in the early going of this contest, and you see it there, 6-0 through 1 period of play.
And it's, it is mostly a young side for Leominster. They do have the 9 seniors, but 3 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 5 freshmen as well. And it is early in the season. Every day, every game, every period, really every shift for these guys, you need to take on its own. And you need to take something away from that if you're going to build and eventually get to a place where Lunenburg Ayer Shirley is right now, where they're in the conversation for the best teams in the Midwatch C. We will take the remainder of the first intermission break with the players. Come on back. We've got 2 more periods of action here in the semifinal game of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. John Gugerty joined, as always, by Dan Bolak as we get ready for the second period of this semifinal match in the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley 6, Leominster 0 after a dominant first period performance by the Blue Knights.
Shot 17-4 in the first period for LAS. Just the first number of shots, Liam Brigham was able to make the save, but that shot by Colin Hakey that found the top right corner, and then the floodgates opened from there. I mean, we knew coming in, I think it was going to be a bit of a challenging test for Leominster. You know, a bit of a disparity in terms of experience in many facets of the game.
We were speaking, Dan, with the coaching staff for the Blue Devils before the game, and one of the assistant coaches said to me that they're basically two teams playing two different games right now. And I think you see that just in the talent disparity between these two teams. Lunenburg, Ayer, Shirley firing all cylinders. They've returned a number of players from what was already a tremendous team, and Leominster just trying to hang on.
Yep. So I will tell you that Lunenburg Ayer Shirley has switched up goalies for the second period. Instead of number one, it's number one but indifferent.
the other number one.
Yep, it's Evan Roberts who's in goal right now, as there's a wiring shot there by Evan Gibbons that goes over the net. I thought that might have been Jacob Karch in the first game when I saw a big prominent number one, but in a different style. But nope, I didn't see the other goalie who was also wearing the number one. Just a matter of, well, they don't really have a number 25 jersey that fits, I believe, Evan Roberts. So they're using this old number one jersey. And that's near enough. Everybody understands. Unfortunately, getting to talk with Eric Short before the game, he verified that Evan Roberts is currently wearing that particular jersey and that they are rotating who's going to be the backup between him and freshman Matthew Pond. Roberts here is just an 8th grader, and he'll gobble that one up.
Goes 5'6", 135. He is not exactly the largest fellow on the ice.
That's a thing that'll happen.
He may, in fact, be the tidiest. Goaltenders, man.
In terms of goaltending, definitely amongst the 4 goalies that are at the disposal of these two teams. Same weight as Mr. Pond. So skating up ice here is Owen Hurley. Gets a shot off, and he scores! Rings it off the iron and in, and that'll make it 7-0.
You can see the strategy for the Blue Knights, and it's an effective one. They know, as does anyone else who takes on Leominster, Liam Brigham is not an experienced goaltender.
They'll put that goal on the board eventually. It's 7-0 now, and there it is. That is, by the way, I believe that was Hurley who got the shot. It'd be a hat trick for him. But we'll get the confirmation as Hakey keeps it in at the blue line. That redirects off of Turner's stick, off the post, and then to Brigham, and that stays out.
I would imagine, Dan, that if Mr. Brigham was a more experienced goaltender, he would know to have the thought, oh my God, don't deflect pucks on me, what are you doing? Must be a particularly frustrating thing to happen when you're between the pipes.
Now, when I speak of my goaltending experience, I'd like to tell the folks at home that I speak as a ball hockey goalie with a career goals against in the 7s. I am not what you would call good.
Don't tell people that. We want to pass you off as an expert here.
I try my best, but as Brigham makes a couple saves here, it's more to say to everyone, I've been there. I know what it's like to be in a position where you're getting peppered with shots.
You have, not infinitely, because I was a soccer goalie in gym class one time, but you have so much more relevant athletic experience here than I do.
Here's the takeaway, and here's Caleb Farabee into the zone. Can't get the pass off. He tries to center, but he finds a Blue Knight instead. And skating it up here is Andrew Nicosia. He gains the zone, goes to the right circle, thrown across the paint into the left wing corner. Knights try to get on that one, but it's pushed out of the zone down the ice. And it will go for an icing.
Once again, 50-50 raffle ticket, the winning number 083.
Bring the puck all the way down. 12:42 to go in the second period. Blue Knights got the extra point to make it 7-0. Get a fresh water bottle there for Liam Brigham, or at least the water bottle that he probably should have had. Blue Knights out in front, a good opportunity there. Brigham able to get down there quickly enough and make the stop.
We've seen some fairly simple shots get behind him, but Brigham did a good job there following, covering up the deflection. As this season goes along, as he gets literally his legs under him, gets more accustomed to being on the ice, Brigham will get better.
Yep, as he moves, from side to side in the paint, there are going to be aspects to his mechanics that he's going to improve on. He's going to start to feel better and more confident in the net. Renda with a shot is blocked. Getting away that was Nathan Richard. Behind the net, Brody Knox. He's got a goal tonight. Gets the puck in the right wing corner. Ducks out of a hit by Renda. Blue Devils trying to take it away. Xavier Perez there. Sam Renda there as well. Lost in the feet of Dylan Gibbons for a moment, but he's able to retrieve it. Skated up to the near side and structured up ice. Blue Knights gain the zone, winding, firing, and Brigham makes the save there. Shot on the right side, 2-3 jam chances, they score! Number of Blue Knights in, whacking away at that puck. Finally found its way through. 8-0.
When you're unable to control the rebound, you give chance after chance to a team as talented as Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. They're gonna put it in at some point.
Eight to nothing the score, 25-5 the shots are at this point of the game when these two teams played each other last year. 6-1 and 11-1 were the final score lines. And the shots in those games, 62-6 and 51-15.
Knight's 8th goal scored by number 16, Cam Jacobs. Assist number 23, Evan Gibbons.
Cameron Jacobs, the senior, credited with the 8th LAS goal.
His first of the season. Had a goal last year.
Evan Gibbons had the assist.
Through a lot of traffic, Stave. Then off the post. And it's another goal. Just a number of Blue Knights out in front. Just trying to get their stick on the loose puck, try to poke it past Brigham, and it found a way through, and it's 9-0. And now the next goal becomes important because mercy will be declared if another goal is conceded.
And obviously, Dan, it's difficult for Leominster just because of the problems they've had in goal. But it's worth noting, we're less than 5 minutes into the second period. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley has 28 shots already.
That's a lot. And, think of it this way. We've played nearly a period worth of professional hockey. You don't see 28 shots in 20 minutes. It's pretty rare. Colin Holbrook.
Ninth goal was scored by number 19, Adam Kimball. Assist number 22, Jason Turner. And the 17, Dylan Gibbons. Time of the goal, 4:18.
First goal of the season for Adam Kimball. He had a goal last year as well. Jason Turner gets an assist, and so does Dylan Gibbons. So here's Hurley, already has 3 tonight. Try to get it across, see if he can get it on the stick of Brendan Stokes. They'll get it out of the zone, Holbrook knocking it down. And here's Brand. Brand to the top of the right circle. Tries to throw it in the direction of goal, nothing going there. Blue Devils will play it behind the net, around to the left side. And up ice, off the stick of Jariel Morales. Scored in the first game of the season against Oakmont. Owen Hurley making his way up ice. Kindly choosing not to use the speed boost button. To the near side. And now skating up is Sean McGrath. He's a senior. Grath into the zone. He'll try out the boost button a little bit. Not able to get the shot off.
It's been so long since I actually bought an NHL game. Is it still R2?
Possibly. Shot was blocked in front. A second chance for Nicosia. And probably been even longer since I've played any of the NHL games.
I think the last one I bought was a...
Oh, and there's an own goal, too, on the shot where it was deflected down, and that just made it very difficult for Brigham to stop. I think that was Heffernan who took the shot from the left point. And mercy is declared. It's 10-0.
Brigham just tried to play that standing. Didn't get down low in his crouch, just tried to keep his vertical base and knock it away, but it took one funny hop, got through it.
Goal scored by number 6, Jack Heffernan. Unassisted, time of that goal was 6:47, second period.
Yep, with the redirection there, I think you'll argue that Heffernan's goal is more the efforts of the Blue Devil who redirected that puck, because it goes straight downwards, and I think the way that Brigham's reading it, the way I would have read it if I was in that spot, is that shot is going high up towards my chest off the release of the stick. So I don't have to go down, but then the Blue Devil defender tries to knock the puck down, and the way it hits his stick, it goes straight down to the ice. That requires you to change, like, mid-shot what you're going to do, and you've already you're in a position where you can't really go down in that spot, or how his skates are configured on the ice in that spot. He's not in a position where he can go to the ice. And so in that point, it's just hope that your stick gets it, and his stick didn't get it.
It's almost the opposite of one of the goals we saw for Hudson in our first game, where a shot took a deflection and wound up going high, arcing over the goaltender Avery Aiken and into the back of the Monutech Fitchburg net.
Yeah, we've seen the awkward goals on both sides. So Heffernan's unassisted goal has led to mercy being declared, which means the remainder of this game will be played in running time. I will say it's the first time I've actually called a game in which the running clock has come into play in the second period. I remember, a number of years ago when St. Bernard's restarted ice hockey, where they were playing Hopedale, back when Hopedale was a team that probably would have won a state championship if they were having state championships that particular season, because plague and all.
Yeah, we don't need to remember that, but yeah, that happened.
Yep. There were 2 games in which we called with St. Bernard's and Hopedale, where the final scores were 14-0 and 14-2. The clock didn't run in the second period because the mercy rule that currently exists did not exist back then. It was 8 after 2, but there was no provision for a running clock in the first or second period. Now, with the rules changed to 10 after 1 or 6 after 2, now we see the running clock in effect here.
It's possible, Dan, that those games are the reason for that rule change.
There are a couple of teams out there that sort of struggle in regards to things. Last year when Leominster beat East Boston twice the last season, East Boston finished with a record of 0-17 and were outscored 157-5. They were a team that had a lot of trouble really hanging with much of anybody. But Leominster, who for all their struggles even last season though, was clearly in a higher echelon. This season, see, with some of the experience having graduated for Leominster, and a lot of players really learning what it's like to playing at the varsity level, you're seeing the challenges here. For Leominster, they're going to try to grow every game, try to get a little better every time. Brigham make the save there. Now, I mentioned the I'm very bad at hockey thing as a thought, and we're going to actually see a goalie change here for Leominster. They did have another goalie in Jacob Torigny, and so he's going to step in and try his luck for the last 20 minutes of the contest. So I wanted to tell a story where, I needed to preface the I'm bad at hockey thing first to make this story make sense. But there was a game where we were playing a team that we knew was dominant, that we knew could blow the doors off of us. And I remember much like this game, I was able to stop probably the first 7 shots of that contest. And then they got one, and then they got another, then they got another, and they put 14 on the board. And near the end of the game, they had a breakaway where they had clearly had me beaten and chose to then just carry the ball around the net instead of actually putting it in the empty net. That was their way of having mercy on me, which I actually found more frustrating than anything, really.
I was going to ask, if you're in that situation, it can be so hard to maintain your confidence. And if you're in a situation where you know that the other team is taking it easy on you, in its own way, that's as frustrating as anything, right?
Can be. There's a goal for the Blue Knights, as Trigny made the original save, but then they score on the rebound.
And hockey is a game where it's difficult to take it easy on an opponent. You know, like American football, soccer, you can park the bus in soccer. You can pass it back and forth. And we saw a little bit of that toward the end of the third period in our first game tonight. But there's only so much you can do if you want to maintain, like, the integrity of the competition, even. Like, you got, especially if you're a coach who you've got a deep roster, some guys who maybe don't see playing time. Are you going to send out the kid who never plays and tell him, hey, Johnny, it's 12-0, don't do anything? The only significant ice time you might see this whole season. I think we're going to get a penalty here against Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Jack Heffernan will be sent to the discipline dungeon. A little bit too aggressive with his board directioned check.
Yep. They signal a rough on that. They'll put it on the board. The clock's not starting, now it is. Forget how those death
stopped.
Well, the clock never stops at this point, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it goes straight on the board immediately. There's a good shot there by Turner that's stopped by Roberts. Yep, so they call a roughing for that one. I mean, you want to casually say it's boarding, but the thing is that in Federation rules, boarding's an automatic major.
That's true.
So.
Penalty was on number 6, Jack Heffernan. 2-minute minor for roughing at 13:32 of the second period.
Shot there by Evan Gibbons, stopped by Trigny. Trigny's case, number 18 on the roster. I was wondering if they'd be saving like the number 1 jersey, which I know is a goalie jersey that Leominster has for him to wear if he ever were to come into the game in that manner. But nope, he's got the number 18 jersey there too, so I guess he's able to fit into that one. You probably have never seen a goalie wear number 18 before.
I would wager not.
Yep.
Of all the sports, hockey seems to be the weirdest with its numbers. And by weird, I just mean particular.
Game clock continues to run. A new rule, by the way, this year. It was clarified that the penalty clock does actually have to run during running time.
That's probably fair.
Yep. In the past, Mr. Lapointe would press a button that would stop the penalty clocks. It's the same button you press so that the penalty clock doesn't run during the intermission, like he probably is going to press right now, to ensure the first 32 seconds come off the board. But the MIAA did specify this year, no, you actually do have to let the penalty clocks run during Mercy. So it means that players may not necessarily have to serve all 2 minutes, just 2 minutes in real time. Regardless, we are now at the end of 2 periods of play. It is now 11-0. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley in front.
It's a difficult game to analyze this. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley is very clearly the much better team. They have played very good, solid, fundamental hockey. They have peppered the woefully inexperienced Leominster goaltenders with shot after shot after shot after shot after shot, and 11 of those shots have gotten into the net. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your hockey game.
There's not a whole lot that you can really analyze here. It's just there is a massive skill disparity in this contest. It's playing itself out, and you see it. It's just what it is.
Both these teams will be back here tomorrow. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley, barring some awful divine intervention, will take on the Hawks of Hudson to determine the champion of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. The Blue Devils of Leominster will face the Bulldogs of Monty-Tech-Fitchburg. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the rivalry on ice, unless they score 12 goals in the third period, which, hey, it's mathematically possible. So it'll be Leominster versus Monty-Tech-Fitchburg tomorrow. Coverage begins here 2 o'clock Eastern on FATV. And for now, I think Dan and I will take the remainder of the intermission break with the players. Come on back for the third. It's Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. John Gugerty, Dan Bolek with you for Hockey Night in Fitchburg as we get ready for the third period in this, the second semifinal game of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. The Blue Knights of Lunenburg Ayer Shirley have put 11 pucks behind the goaltenders of the Blue Devils of Leominster. We will have running time from the puck drop. 15 real-life minutes will pass, and then we will have the finals of this tournament.
Indeed we will. Shots 31-9 in favor of Lunenburg Ayer Shirley. Owen Hurley's got a hat trick for the Blue Knights, and many other players have done many other things as well.
It's been pretty clear from the word go that the Blue Knights are the better team in every aspect, really. And it has only been exacerbated by the problems Leominster has had in goal. They did switch goaltenders in that second period. Jacob Terigny took over. He will remain in net for Leominster. Terigny seeing his first action of the season for the Blue Devils. Evan Roberts took over at the beginning of the second period for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley, and he remains there as we begin period number 3. Puck sent in behind the Leominster net. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley is still serving a penalty. 20 seconds remain on the man advantage for the Blue Devils. Puck goes back behind the Leominster net once again. Will be gathered by Jamison Coltran. He leaves it off for Jacob Turner. Back behind the net for James Connors. Connors will send it the other way for Turner. Turner menaced by Andrew Nicosia. He'll wear out the freshly shaven ice behind the Leominster net. Now Turner will skate forward. Back to even strength are we. 5-on-5 for now, barring any further infractions. Out to the point to Connors. Tries a shot, but it's blocked. Coming back the other way is Brendan Stokes. Stokes from the point takes a shot. Save made by Terigny. Stokes is sent into the boards as we get a whistle, but it's for Terigny holding on to the puck.
18 with the shot, 18 with the save. We talked about it in the second period. You've probably never seen a goalie wear number 18 before because goaltender numbers tend to fall into traditional ranges.
Yeah, hockey's weird. Like, every sport has its own idiosyncrasies with numbering. You know, it's weird to see a single-numbered pitcher, a single-digit number for a baseball pitcher, for instance. Hockey is the weirdest.
Yeah, when it comes to goalie numbers, you know, your traditionals, 129, 30, 31, 35. Back, I mean, most of the goalies that we've seen today have had those traditional numbers. Scargia didn't. He had one of the semi-traditional numbers in 33.
Jacob Karge, for instance, wears number 1.
Indeed.
As does Evan Roberts, but that's a jersey size issue.
He is listed on the roster as 25, which is slightly unusual, but I've seen weirder. Another save there for Terigny.
If he's not wearing the number, it barely counts.
And
like, you could list me on the roster as number 44. I'm not wearing a jersey. But anytime you fill out a play sheet for the rest of your life for FATV, I'm number 44. I claim it right now.
I'm 35. That's the family number.
It's also a jersey number for a hockey goalie. Hockey's weird.
Yep. That just happens to be coincidence.
Shot from the slot, save made by Terigny. Went down to his knees to steer that one away. Comes back behind the Blue Devil net. Kept in at the blue line by Cam Jacobs. Centering pass takes a couple deflections, wound up at Marshall's stick. He was unable to steer it in. He tried to center for Holbrook, but Turigny snatched that one out of the air.
The junior has proven that his glove works. That's the third puck he snared out of the air in this period alone.
Faceoff goes into the far corner. Centering pass for Marshall. I don't think he was ready for that one. He was expecting it to go behind the net. Now a shot from distance. Kick save by Turigny. Dives and covers it up. And his teammate Sam Renda accidentally tried to kick it away, but Turigny able to hang on. We'll get another faceoff in the Blue Devil zone as the clock continues to move. We go under 11 and a half minutes to play in this one. Faceoff comes to Turigny's left. Taken out of the zone by Jacob Nicholson. Now a 2-on-1 for Leominster going the other way. Nicholson shot save made by Roberts. Turnaround and another shot is deflected, goes up into the net. That one off the stick of Jacob Turner. Faceoff will come back out to neutral ice.
So you see basically the sharp differences in experience. I know we didn't get a lot of the story about Jacob Turigny and his goaltending, but we know Coach Mooney had said that he was one who agreed to step up in the off chance that they would ever need a backup, someone to cover if Brigham couldn't continue on, or in this case, they put him in by choice. On the other side, you see Evan Roberts, who's just an 8th grader, getting some nods here.
Another chance for the Blue Knights, another shot and another save by Turigny. This time we're going to get a penalty against the Blue Devils. Slashing is the call. Lucas Renda will be sent to the room to think about what he's done. No, excuse me, Renda skated up to the penalty box door, but it is Jacob Turner who will serve the penalty.
And it was a trip too.
What's the call for slash? That's tripping? Oh.
I have gestured to Mr. Gugerty what the signal for a slash is that you can't see on television.
Don't start telling people about the gestures we give each other up here. They're going to get mad.
Well, the gestures that you're thinking of at home, I haven't actually seen them. So I'm not mad about that.
Pass finds Ethan Dion. He sends it back for Sam Brandt. Now back to Dion. Dion off the boards to Brandt. They're having a nice little game, just the two of them now. Dion will involve Dylan Gibbons. And Gibbons ruins the game by being dispossessed of the puck. Thanks, Dylan. Back into the LAS zone, gathered by Brand. They'll send it forward now for Nathan Richard. Richard is briefly dispossessed, regathered by Brand. He gains the zone. Skating in 1-on-4, thinks better of that. He'll peel back, send it cross ice for Gibbons. Dylan gets another shot, loses the puck again. Thanks, Dylan. Sent back out to Brand. The high slot shot, score! Sam Brand from distance. Ends the LAS power play, makes it 12-0. An even dozen now for the Blue Knights.
Brand's had a couple of assists tonight, but I believe that's his first goal, although I never got confirmation on who got goal number 11, so shrug.
Blue Devils control the faceoff, send it into the Blue Knight zone. Chased by Farabee. Played back behind the net by Jariel Morales. Centering pass for Morales. Shot not as strong as he would have liked. It goes up and over the net. Don't know if that took a deflection or just hit a weird spot on Morales' stick. Johnny McGrath skates it out. Ahead past the bread line. Taken into the offensive zone by Jason Turner. He leaves it back for Evan Gibbons. Turner centering pass, shot takes a deflection. Sam Renda got a stick on that, kept it from getting to his goaltender Turigny. Back out to center ice, taken in by Turner. He'll skate it over and back of the blue line. It's a penalty in basketball, you can't do that, but hockey it's just fine. Shot barely deflected by Turigny. He went sprawling full extension to get his glove hand on that one. Sent it up and over the net. Cleared out of the zone, played off to the side by Evan Roberts. Roberts, the 8th grader, again took over in net for the Blue Knights at the start of the second period. Hasn't faced many shots, but he's stopped all that he has. Shot off the stick of Andrew Nicosia goes wide, past the halfway mark of this third period. LAS leads this one by a score of 12-0. Scoreboard has not been updated to reflect that. Loose puck back behind the net. Nicosia skates through the slot, takes a shot, but it's blocked and cleared out of the zone.
Knights goals by number 11, Sam Brand.
Colin Hakey moves it off for Sean McGrath. McGrath will take it back behind his net. Plays it forward for Hakey. Hakey loses it. Jacob Malloy battles, regathered by the Blue Knights. Now a 3-on-2 for them if they hurry, but they're not going to hurry. It's 12-0. Hurry is anathema to them at this point. Sent along the far side boards, gathered for the Blue Devils by Isaac Rosado. Tried to get it forward, couldn't. Rosado takes it again, shot. Scooped off the ground, off the ice rather, by Roberts. And I didn't hear a whistle, but we do get a stoppage of play.
Yeah, I guess there's some times where, you know, it's just self-evident that play is stopped and we can all go and change lines and we can give the puck to the official, and then after everybody's satisfied with who they've got on the ice, then he'll put the puck down and we'll restart play.
Yeah, we can all live with one less harsh, high-pitched noise in our lives. I think that's fair. Colin Holbrook is menaced off. Backhand shot, score! William Marshall puts the biscuit in the basket. A baker's dozen now for Lunenburg Ayer Shirley.
I'm running out of room on my sheet.
It's fair. It's an 8.5 by 11. You can make a second line.
Starting with another column over here.
It's a good start. There's 5 minutes left. You'll be fine. Puck in the near side corner, sent behind the LAS net, comes all the way out of the zone. Blue Devils will have to regather. Xavier Perez banged into the corner boards. Shot from a bad angle, goes off the side of the net. And it's gathered there by the Blue Devils. Skating it up the ice is Jacob Turner. Blue Devils would like to get at least one on the board here in the final 4.5 minutes of this game. Kept in at the blue line temporarily, but unable to keep it in. Now a chance for LAS going the other way. Colin Holbrook one-on-one with Tarigny. Tarigny skated forward, didn't know where the puck was. He was trying to knock it away. It had gotten kind of wedged in between his shin pads. Tarigny able to cover up eventually. We get a whistle and a stoppage. Now in a running clock situation, what's to stop a head coach from using his timeout just to kill the last 3, 4, 5 minutes?
Probably nothing. But you might as well just get your kids some more playing time.
That's a fair point. Chance for LAS, Nathan Richard. Thought about a centering pass, takes it behind the net instead. Gets whacked into the boards for his trouble. Now in the far corner, skating into the slot, shot steered away by Tarigny. That was off the stick of Brody Knox. Richard now, behind the net, centering pass for Knox, deflected. Good job by Tyler Woods once again on the defensive end for Leominster. The Blue Devils are able to clear the zone. Blue Knights have to clear, tag up, get back in. They do so. Sent back in by Knox. It goes behind the Leominster net. Woods just making himself a presence in front of that Leominster net. Essentially acting as an extra goaltender, really. Centering pass off the stick of Knox. Goes to the far corner. Knox gets tied up with Caleb Farabee. Farabee gets it forward to Jariel Morales. Morales with Helm behind him. Gains the zone. Centering pass. Couldn't find a deflection that he was looking for. And the Blue Knights regather. They'll take it back the other way. A little bit of offside there, but they let it go. I think Nathan Richard was a good skate length or two too far forward. Blue Devils are able to clear the zone. Blue Knights take it back in just barely. Dion is able to tag up. Officials, I think, maybe don't want to stop play for a ticky-tack offside right now. They will, however, stop play for a rather egregious penalty committed by the Blue Devils. I think Max Crosman will be sent away for the rest of this game.
Yeah, with how long it's going to take.
And 2 minutes 10 of real time by the time he gets into the box and they put the penalty on the clock and they drop the puck. It's going to be the rest of this game. And Mr. Crossman serves for what I think will go down as a cross-check. It certainly looked like one.
They signaled a rough.
Well, wouldn't be a hockey game without me messing up hockey, would it?
Fist outwards is a roughing.
Face-off taken to the right side of Terigny. Skated into the slot.
And after all, you're getting the reps too.
I am.
Normally you just get the second periods, but today, for this one, you got 1 and 3.
That's right. And look how well it's gone. Taken in along the near side boards by Colin Holbrook. His pass at center ice finds Brendan Stokes temporarily, sends it in. Back along the far side boards, regathered by Holbrook. He'll skate in 2-on-3, take a shot, save made by Terigny, and he's able to cover up the rebound. That'll take us under 1 minute by the time they restart play. Folks, we want to let you know one more time, tomorrow afternoon, starting 2 o'clock. First, we will have the consolation game, the third place match between Leominster and Monty-Tech Fitchburg. And then these Blue Knights of Lunenburg Ayer Shirley will face the Hawks of Hudson, with the winner being declared the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament champion for 2025.
Hudson's the defending champion. Played a heck of a game last year. Hudson had the first 3 goals, LAS had the next 3, but then Hudson got the winner in the third.
Skated into the zone by Dylan Gibbons, under 30 seconds to play now. Shot takes a deflection, winds up going to the far side boards, played there by Richard. He sends it forward for Evan Gibbons. Gibbons has it poked away from him by Owen Longton. First time we've called Longton's name tonight. Pass to the slot, intercepted by Renda. It's cleared down by Lucas Renda. Sam and Lucas, 2 Rendas on the same line for the Blue Devils. Means their video will process very quickly. And on that mediocre joke, we wrap up this third period and the game. Lunenburg Ayer Shirley 11, Leominster 0 is the final score.
As it says on the scoreboard, because...
as it says on the scoreboard, it is 13 was the final for the Blue Devils.
It was 13, and
Blue
yes,
Knights.
it says 13 on your screen because Mr. Lapointe just didn't put the goals up on the board at the end, but he still announced them and all that stuff. It was what it was.
It was indeed, and the third period was pretty okay. Honestly, I was reasonably impressed by Jacob Terigny.
Yeah.
He acquitted himself quite well.
Yeah, Terigny in this game, I think, finished only 3 goals conceded, and he faced 17 shots, so 14 of 17, that ain't bad.
Lunenburg Ayer Shirley is victorious. They are the home team here, the hosts of this tournament. A tougher test, most likely, awaits them tomorrow evening. They will play the Hawks of Hudson, with the winner being declared the champions of the Bushnoe tournament, and of course getting an important divisional win in the Midwatch C. These are regular season games after all.
Yep, these are regular season games. These are league games. After all, for this win, Lunenburg Ayer Shirley now 4-1 and 2-0 in Midwatch C play. Leominster falls to 0-3, 0-2 in Midwatch C play. And for tomorrow, Leominster will have a non-league game against Monty-Tech Fitchburg. And if you ever wondered how would Leominster fare against a Hudson side, well, they need to get that game somewhere. That's for the middle of January to figure out.
Exactly. They'll get it at some point. It'll be fine. They know this was happening. Everything will be fine, including, we hope, our coverage tomorrow. But before we say goodbye tonight, we want to thank Travis Falk, our camera operator, audio engineer, and general dude who makes everything happen here at FATV, for his tremendous work as always. And we want to thank you folks at home for watching. On behalf of my partner Dan Bolak, I am John Gugerty saying thank you so much for being with us. We will see you next time right here on FATV.